Everybody, my name is Dianna Radcliffe. I am a fifth grade ELA teacher here in the state of Florida. I am the face behind Teaching Upper Elementary, formerly known as Sassy Savvy Simple Teaching. And I'm glad you're here today with me. I'm going to be talking about how to host a virtual back to school night, which I know is a big topic or a question kind of buzzing around with teachers right now, and not knowing how the beginning of the year is going to look, or you may know, or you may predict how the beginning of the year is going to look. But I am here to help answer some questions and guide your thinking and helping you prepare for a virtual back to school night. And I also have some stuff I can provide you if that's the route you want to take as well. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to mention, and I want everybody to think about, is, some of us are panicked about having a virtual back to school night. But I want you to think about this. How many nightly events does your school have, and what is your school attendance? My school events, we have open house, back to school, meet and greet, conference night. We have a lot of parent nights that our reading coach does things too. We have a lot of events. And it's not that parents don't want that information, but for their family dynamics and what's happening, they can't attend. And all we normally have to send to them is something in a paper format. So moving forward, I actually think this is a good lesson for everybody, because we should have a virtual option for everything. I know as a mom of two, I can't be everywhere because I have a little one. And sometimes those events run into his bedtime. Or my husband is in the military and he is not home. So it's just me. So we can't conquer and divide, So, and other families, transportation, they may still be at work, or they have a different meeting to attend, all of that other stuff. We should always provide a virtual option for all of our nightly events. Sending home a paper copy of something is not enough. So I feel like this experience, if you have to go through hosting a virtual back to school night, or even if you don't, if you're having a real back to school night in your building, but maybe predicting the way the school year is going to be, some events are going to have to be virtual. I think this is a great mindset shift for all of us to have. So I just wanted to pop in that little nugget of information. So let's get started. Okay. So what I'm going to cover in this video today is why you should, how you should do it, what you need, like what things you should probably include in it, and plus some ideas and tips. And I have Google and Microsoft ready items if, again, that's the route you want to take for your choice. So let's start here. Why you should host a virtual back to school night. There's way more reasons than this, but these are at the top of my list. Meet students and parents. The whole reason they come to school to see you is, yes, they want to see their classroom and drop off that load of supplies, but they want to meet their teacher. They want to see their teacher. They want to hear their teacher. They want to introduce themselves to their teacher. So if you can provide a live option, like live office hours, say your open house is 5 to 7 or 6 to 8 or whatever, you want to be live so that you can be on and people can maybe come see you. But if they can't, you definitely want to provide a pre-recorded something, or at least images of yourself. So I want you to think about that. This is another reason why. Connect with students and parents, begin to foster relationships. This is the first meet vibes. You need to have those first meet vibes. You start putting faces with names, you start putting adults with children, and you are able to say hello and introduce yourself and, show them around, which would be show them around your virtual area, which I would show my kids my office and all of that. It's really important that they get to know a few things and see you and hear you so they're comfortable. Communicate important information with families. What does your school or county or for your specific classroom want families to know before the start of a school year? Collect information. What do you ask families to give you? What does your school and county require families to give you? Engage with students. Opportunities for students to hear their new teacher and see their new teacher. And that goes back to what I mentioned at the top of this list. Having something live that they can hop on is awesome, but definitely a recording or something. And convenience to fit any family schedule or dynamic, which what I was talking about earlier. If they can't be at that time, maybe they can be earlier in the day or the next day or something. Having a virtual option allows families to sit down and engage when they are free and, not having a million things going on and can do so. And creating an event to be a part of. Just because you're not going back in the school building doesn't mean you should scrap your plans. Every teacher probably has an awesome open house or a back to school night where they set things up in their classrooms and, all of that. Don't scrap it. It's still needed. Just transition it and make it digital. So these are all the reasons why. And there's more, but the main ones. Okay. How you should host a virtual back to school night. So this is where on my handout, I have a little brainstorming sheet, and answering these questions will tell you how you should do it. And I'll give examples of mine as well. So up top, the how. The first question, what platforms will my students and parents be expected to utilize? What are you using this year? Are you a Google Classroom? I'm Microsoft, so my kids are going to be on Microsoft. We were on Edsby, now Canva. So my kids and parents are going to need to be on Canva. I use ClassTag and I use Zoom. So those are the 4 platforms that I use. What platforms do you use in your classroom, county, or district that students and parents need to be on? Hopefully you are experienced in those, being given what we went through at the end of the last school year. So you have a comfort level there. So those are the platforms you're going to want to use. The second question, what digital platforms are you comfortable utilizing to create on? What did you create recorded lessons on? I use Loom and Screencast. I'm very comfortable on both of those. You can also record on Zoom. That's an option. Then you're going to want to use those. What platforms are you comfortable utilizing to create on as far as items? Are you comfortable using Google Forms, Microsoft Forms? Are you comfortable with PowerPoint, Excel, Word? What are you comfortable on? So whatever you put in this list, that's what you're going to use and where you're going to put it. I just want to let you know that the neighbors are having their grass mowed right now. So if you hear any lawn going on, I am sorry. I'll try to make sure there it goes. All right. So this, again, I'm not going to stop this recording and I'm not going to redo it because guess what? This is a part of our life when we are teaching remotely, all the different noises. So you'll probably hear my dog soon too. Okay. Sorry for the sidebar. Moving on. Look down here. Next, think deeper. How will I contact and reach families? Will the school or will I? About this event, this virtual school night. Is there going to be a blast email, a blast message, some social media posts coming from your school or your county or district? Or is this going to be on you? Are you going to need to go into wherever it is on your school platform that you gather student information from or wherever it's available to you? Are you going to need to pull parent email addresses and create an email invitation? So think about that. The next part, where will you post and upload items for your virtual back to school night? Well, that is going to come from what are your students, yourself, and your parents required to utilize because you want them on the platforms that they're going to be on. So the bottom of your little brainstorm sheet is the what. What forms can you turn digital? Do you have a file saved of open house back to school things? What back to school night items can I turn digital? So you have a PowerPoint, I always have like a student information card. So I have a quick check, like, or is there something from your county or school? So this is really, once you're done with this slide in this form, you really know what you need and where it needs to be and what you are comfortable doing to create it. Now that might be a simple task for some of you to sit down one afternoon and just get started. Or some of you may want some ready-made items too. So just think of where you are in the process. You may not have that much time or energy or knowledge. That's one way that you can just use some ready-made items. But if you're like, I have everything, I just need to copy and paste it over, I can do this, then it's going to be really easy. So what I'm trying to say is just don't be overwhelmed by this. This is not something to be overwhelmed by, even though it may be new. You're not new to presenting yourself online if you had to do it at the end of last 9 weeks. So let's talk about the what. So this is a list of what I would need in my virtual back to school night. And some things are things that I provide, and some things are things that my school and county provide. So a sign-in form. We always have to turn in a sign-in form. I know I'm going to need one. Parent contact information. That's something. The lawn people. Now they're next door. They do the 2 houses over here. We're being flexible here. Okay, parent contact information. I like my parents to give me their current phone numbers, current addresses, current email addresses, current up-to-date information, and all of that. Student questionnaire. This is something that my partner and I love to use. We like to ask the parents questions. Does your child have a nickname? Do you have any family traditions or anything I should be aware of? Also, do you have any concerns academically? Some struggles? Are there things your students really excel in, your child excels in? So different types of things, and I'll share that with you. Health form, something the school provides me, the nurse provides me. Allergies, medicine in the nurse's office, all of that stuff. Do you wear glasses? All of that. PTA form. My PTA is huge at my school, so I'm going to need to help them, because back to school night open house is when my PTA makes first contact with all the families to get them to register and provide them with opportunities to help in our community events. I'm going to need to push that out for them. Free and reduced lunch meal benefits, something that comes from my county to me to put in my classroom at open house night. I'm going to need to provide that information, that link for parents. Volunteer forms. What are the volunteers you utilize and would like parents to sign up for? Classroom donations. What are the things that you ask for your classroom to function on top of your school supply list? Frequently asked questions. This is something that I like to provide. It helps with the communication. We find we're repeating ourselves a lot because people have the same questions or kids have the same questions. Meet and greet conference sign up. So this is what I'll be utilizing this year. So I'll go through that in a little bit. Photograph and video consent. That's another form from my school. And then a slideshow, which I feel like most teachers have a version of a slideshow that they display on their Elmo, or not on their Elmo, on their smart board. So these are the things I would need. So what things would you need? Do you need the same things, a little different, a little more, a little less? What is it? Talk to people in your school building. What are the forms that your school has you put in your room at open house? Go on your county website. What things do you remember that they push out to parents at this open house back to school night event? I think the lawnmowers have calmed down. We're on to the weed whacking and edging portion of this show. Okay. Oops, I didn't want to go there. Sorry, we'll get back to that. We're not done. Okay, so let me show you what I have and how I did it. So I've created this resource and it's ready for Google or Microsoft. And if you're on a different platform, you can copy and paste. So the one thing I will say is that Google is a little more flexible in sharing things and copying your own file. Microsoft is not. So for example, my Microsoft account is through my school district, my county. I can only share within my school district and county. I cannot send somebody in North Carolina a Microsoft link of mine. So keep that in mind. So the first part of this resource has Google Drive file directions, how you're going to make a copy, and from there you can edit the copy. I put in everything I need, and I kind of thought that would be helpful as a guide, because sometimes when you're just doing all this stuff, you forget things easily, and you can edit it and fix it. So on this page and the next page, I have all of these files that you would make a copy of. So even if you're a Microsoft Classroom like myself, you're going to need to save a copy for yourself. So for example, I have my homeroom volunteers form. Here come the mowers. I hope you can still hear me. Okay. So you would make a copy. So whether you're a Google or Microsoft Classroom, you would make a copy and save it. Okay? Everybody. And we'll get to that. And then I do for Microsoft, if you are uncomfortable with Microsoft still, you just you've had to use it, a little, I have directions of the process to go through. And this was exactly the process I went through. So if you are somebody that wants some stuff pre-made for you as a guide and all of that, by all means, I have this resource. I'll show you where to get it. But I am going to go through exactly what I did as an example, kind of just to help everybody generate their thoughts and their planning process of how you're going to swing this back to school night. So this is my virtual back to school night folder in my Google Drive with everything. So for example, I was showing you the homeroom volunteers. So you would get a copy of this. So I have email address, parent first and last name, child first and last name, check what you would like to volunteer for. And then very important, we have a mandatory county volunteer screening form they have to go through. And I make parents click on this link and fill that out before completing my form. So that kind of covers me. So if you have that at your school, that is something you're going to want to edit. You're going to take mine out and edit it. But what's so great about using forms, and I'm showing you in Google, I'll go through Microsoft as well, is the responses, they come to you in an Excel sheet. And you can arrange that Excel sheet however you want. You can save it. You can print it. You have it. So there's the homeroom volunteer form. My PTA, I'm going to share a PTA sign up, email, and how to join and browsing their PTA website. And I'll get responses to what family. Our goal is always 100%. And you can change that for yourself. No photographs or videos form. This is only for parents that wish that their child are not photographed or videoed. Again, I'll get the responses for that. Student health form. I tried to cover as much as possible. And once again, when you make your own copy of this, you can edit all of this to fit your needs. But I have email address, student first name, student last name. Does the nurse have any medication I should be aware of down in the office? Allergies, hearing, vision, glasses, 504 IEP, other health concerns. And then something I added that I feel is very important. Would you like your child to receive guidance sessions for any specific reason, and explain? So as a parent myself, for my child, I would have put yes there because we're a military family and her father's gone a lot. And I think it's good she has somebody to talk to about those feelings. So I think that's important for me to, ask my students and their families. Student questionnaire. Birth date, address, so this is where I get their birth date so I can do the birthdays. Some of the stuff is repetitive just because you never know if a parent's going to fill everything out or just 2 forms. So, transportation from school to home, from home to school, transportation for early release, siblings. I do like to be aware of siblings. Especially at the beginning of the year when you're dropping them off in car line and bus line, I like to put them with their siblings. Internet, all the technology, a little bit. And this is where parents get a chance to tell me about their child and family, academic strengths, hobbies, interests, personality, attitude, academic experiences, and all of that. So this is where I really gained some good information for the beginning of the year. Here's the back to school sign-in sheet. And again, I'll just take the responses I get and turn this into my school, email it into my school that these are the people that attended my virtual back to school night. So I have those forms ready. And for all of those forms, Microsoft people, I saved them and I copied them over into a Microsoft form. I do my classroom donation sign up. Everybody might do this differently. I like to do an open Excel sheet so that when a parent opens it, they can see what's been signed up for and what hasn't and what is still needed. And again, you can adjust this to any way you want. There's directions, and this is on top of what's on their back to school list. And then I have this slideshow I made. So all of the text in the slideshow is editable. I said that right. I gotta sip while this is pulling up. So I've had other slideshows I've used in the past, but this kind of I made this one because it really does just give the information. So on these slides, you would just add the text you want. I did one slide. Obviously, you can change that text. I'm going to insert some pictures of my classroom. For this slide, for the All About Me, these are text boxes that you can change as well. A note from me. These are text boxes you can change as well. You can change these buttons. Well, the buttons do match the other pages. So if you wanted to delete a button or a circle, you would just delete that page. But I have parent directions here. So this is an interactive PowerPoint. So I'm having microphone problems or earbud problems. Let me show you how this looks. And I have this for PowerPoint too, Microsoft friends. Let me move my face out of the way. Okay, so view the slideshow as normal. So clicking the arrow, right, when I send this out to families, or click on any purple circle to go straight to that slide. Each slide also has a home button to return. So again, let's go to the uniform policy. Okay, so they can read about it here. They can click on this home button to return. How cool is that? So that's pretty cool. If they want to know a couple facts about Miss Radcliffe before they chat with me, here's a couple facts about Miss Radcliffe before they chat with me. And they can click home. So I did that. So that's all in here. And then I have these other documents. So frequently asked questions. So obviously, if you take this from me, you're going to edit this page. But frequently asked questions, I just reached out to my team. I had a few. I reached out to my team to see, excuse me, what questions we would have. I like to, give this out for information. Here come the lawnmower blowers. Be prepared to hear that. For information, I would redo this video, but right now I don't have my 4-year-old, so it's the best time to do it. So I have to do it now. I like to give this out primarily just to answer any questions. There's one teacher and I have 50 students, usually 45 to 53 I've averaged, plus all of their parents. So I don't have a lot of time, but I try to front load. And then I like to use this. I'm going to be using this in my Zoom meet and greets. And then how to host a 3 to 5 minute meet and greet. So this is something I'm doing this year. So let's talk about this for a minute. How to host a 3 to 5 minute meet and greets with your students on Zoom for back to school. So in Sign Up Genius, when creating a sign up, in settings, require parents to leave their name and email when signing up. You will use this email to send Zoom meet and greet directions. So a little note. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go into Zoom and create one meeting to get one code. Click Enable Waiting Room in the settings and change the mandatory password to fit your needs. So I'll do that. Copy that meeting invitation and save it to use in your parent emails. Okay? In the parent emails. So this is after you created a Sign Up Genius. So I created a Sign Up Genius for the dates and times that I am going to offer meet and greets with Mrs. Radcliffe. Okay? In that Sign Up Genius, when they sign up for that date and time, they're required to leave their email address. So I'm going to pull those email addresses for my email. Okay? In my email, I'm going to put that invitation. I'm also going to put these directions in my email. and I put, you can create a document to attach or type directions in the email itself for you, the user, the teacher, to prepare. Prepare students prior by putting a format in place. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in my email as directions for my meet and greet. Students are asked to come to the meeting with 3 things. 1, introduce themselves to me and tell me what they like to do. Hobby, a sport, activity, drawing, whatever. 2, have 1 question to ask me that is specific to my 5th grade ELA classroom. 3, have 1 question to ask me that is specific to being a 5th grade student. So I'm going to have the frequently asked questions page in my email. You can create a document or attach, type directions yourself, prepare the frequently asked questions page. So when I'm preparing student emails, I'm going to open up the Sign Up Genius, copy and paste those email addresses into my email. I'm going to include the Zoom meeting invitation. I'm going to include the Zoom meet and greet directions, explain the purpose of these directions is to be prepared and help stay on schedule. And I'm going to include the frequently asked questions page, explain that this will help the students answer any questions they have already or decide on what questions they still like to ask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Sign Up Genius. I'm going to create a Zoom meeting. I'm going to have parents sign up. I'm going to take those email addresses and send an email to parents with the Zoom meeting link that they can click on to join me. I'm going to attach the frequently asked questions page so that them and their child can review those things. Lawns in Florida are growing like crazy right now. And that's my next door neighbor. It's a lawn. And so they're almost done. I'm watching. So and then I'm going to ask them, like, this is how my Zoom meeting is going to run. It's the purposes for me and the student. And I want them to read the frequently asked questions page, and I want them to come up to me with these 3 things. And then how I'm going to end the Zoom meeting is I'm going to do 2 truths and a lie so that the students can learn something about me. So I'm going to tell them 3 things. They have to guess the lie, and they'll learn a fact about me. And so that is something that I'm going to do. Silenced. And then I created 2 more documents, school meal benefits. I put that in there because that's something I would have forgotten about, obviously. I do want you to make sure that you relay that information, find it from your county website. So I just left in there what I'm doing just as a reminder for you. Sign Up Genius, if you've never used it, or if you like to use a different sign up method, use that. I just use Sign Up Genius, so directions for that. So Microsoft. All of that is copied and pasted. So all these docs, these Google Docs, are copied and pasted in a Word doc. I created my own file in Microsoft. The Excel sheet and the slideshow are I created and copied and pasted. And then for my forms, you will see right here, I have my forms. And what I did is I just opened up the Google Forms. I opened up a blank Microsoft form and I copied and pasted it there. So if you're a Microsoft user, you know, forms save in forms. They won't save in my OneDrive file. So I just created them in Microsoft. So once again, I'll have my Microsoft forms. And then I will be able to get an Excel sheet as well with my responses. So I have all of that. So on this second page, this second handout, if you open it as a PDF, obviously you can't click on a print. But if you open it as a PDF, you will see that I linked you to where you can get this resource. So it's right here in my store. I also have a virtual back to school night blog post. And then I have a paperless open house blog post that I have from a previous year that you can click on to read about. So I think that's about it. That's what I wanted to share with you, to show you. And so anyway, I really just hope that this helped guide your thinking about what platforms you needed to be on. Do not host a virtual school night on a platform that your students and parents will not be on during the school year. What platforms are you comfortable on recording or doing a live on Zoom or pre-recorded on Zoom or Loom or Screencast, or even on your phone or your computer or your iPad, your tablet. What things do you have saved that you can copy and paste and create your documents and have them ready? So all you have to do is post them on the platform. What things do you need to think about that your school or county and district provide aside from what you provide? And what it's going to look like, and just have that file created and saved and ready to go for your open house back to school night. So I hope it really helped you in your thinking. Again, I have the blog post for you, which if you open up my handout on the PDF, you can click to go straight to those blog posts. Oh, little notification. Or you can click to go straight to the resource. If you would like a copy of my what I made, if you want a copy of that, it's there for you by all means. Google, it's ready. Microsoft, you just have to do a couple extra steps by saving it in your Google Drive and copying it over to Microsoft. And that's what I had to do. Again, because Microsoft is by my county, so I can't share links outside my county like Google. There's not an option for that. But I just did it while I was watching TV. It wasn't a big deal. So I hope that this just made you feel a little more or less pressured to throw something together, made you kind of organize your thoughts and all of that. And that is all I have for you today. So good luck at the start of your new school year. Make sure we stay connected. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, my newsletter, or my Teachers Pay Teacher store, so you never miss a thing. And I hope you guys have a great end of your summer. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.